Last week, Anthropic's $2 model had a catch buried in the fine print. This week, OpenAI answered with a $1 model that scores basically the same. The budget AI war is officially on, and picking the wrong side could triple your bill. Here's what OpenAI actually shipped on July 9th. GPT 5.6 went live everywhere: ChatGPT, Codex, and the API. And they didn't release one model, they released a family of three, with a whole new naming system. Sol is the flagship, $5 per million input tokens, 30 out, and it has an ultra mode for maximum effort. Terra is the middle tier, 250 in, 15 out, pitched as last generation's flagship performance at half the price. And Luna is the one everyone's talking about, $1 in, $6 out. Flat. No introductory window, no expiry date, no asterisk on the price tag. OpenAI calls the new structure 3 models. Choose a tier instead of one model with a dial. And there's a detail I love. Sol actually appeared 2 weeks earlier as a gated preview, government restrictions and all, before the whole family went public. The flagship makes headlines, and Ultra Mode exists for the 1% of jobs where money is no object. But Luna, the cheap one, is the model aimed directly at Sonnet 5's lunch. And flat pricing matters more than it sounds. It means you can put a number in a spreadsheet today and still trust it in December. After last week, we know how rare that is. Now, the part that makes this a real fight: the benchmarks are a dead heat. On SWE Bench Pro, the serious agentic coding test, Claude Sonnet 5 scores 63.2. GPT 5.6 Terra scores 63.4. Luna, the $1 model, 62.7. That's half a point separating a $1 model from a $2 model from a $2.50 model. On Terminal Bench, Luna posts 84.3, and the full Sol hits 88.8, edging past every model that came before it. But here's the asterisk, and on this channel we always read the asterisk. These numbers come from different labs, running different harnesses, with different scaffolding. Cross-company comparisons are directional, not precise. Anyone who tells you one model definitively beats another by half a benchmark point is selling something. What the numbers do tell you, safely, is this. At everyday coding and knowledge work, these models are functionally interchangeable. And remember the context from last week. Sonnet 5 edges Anthropic's own flagship at office work. Nothing in this fight is a weak model. These are all monsters at historically silly prices. And when performance ties, the decision moves to the only column left. Price. Let me show you OpenAI's own announcement, because the framing is doing a lot of work. Notice they lead with agents and long-running tasks, the exact same story Anthropic told 2 weeks ago. Both labs have decided the future is models that work for hours, not chatbots that answer once. And Terra gets the phrase competitive with GPT 5.5 at roughly half the cost. That sentence is aimed at CFOs, not developers. And the caching section, this matters for anyone running agents. Cache reads, keep their 90% discount. But cache writes now bill at 1.25 times the input rate, with a 30-minute minimum cache life and explicit breakpoints you control. That's more predictable than before, and predictability is exactly what you want when you're modeling a monthly bill. Nothing here is accidental. This whole page is priced, worded, and timed as a direct answer to Sonnet 5. So just grab the $1 model and go. Slow down. My calculator watch has seen this movie before, and the fine print cuts both ways. Let's run the same math from last week's video. Same workload, both sides. 100 million input tokens and 10 million output tokens a month. On Luna, $100 in, 60 out, 160 total. Flat, every month, no expiry. On Sonnet 5 at the intro price, $300. Already almost double. But after August 31st, Sonnet's list price rises to $3, and if your content hits the tokenizer's worst case, that same traffic bills as 135 million tokens. $555. Against Luna's 160, that's 3.5 times the money for functionally similar benchmark scores. Now, fairness check, because we read fine print on both sides here. OpenAI's numbers are self-published too. Their cache writes cost 25% extra, which adds up if your agent reprimes context constantly. And Luna's scores on the hardest long-horizon tasks are the least proven of the family. The gap is real, but it's not free money. It's a bet that the cheap tier holds up on your workload. And if you want the safe middle, Terra at $250 against Sonnet's post-August $3 with identical output pricing is close enough that the decision should come down to which ecosystem you already live in, not the sticker. So here's how I'd actually route work between these models, as someone whose products burn tokens every day. If your workload is input-heavy, document processing, retrieval, summarization, the stuff my form-filling product does all day, Luna is now the default to beat. Flat pricing means no tokenizer surprises and no calendar deadlines to remember. If you're output-heavy, generating long content or agent code, look closer. Luna's $6 output beats everyone in this class, but test quality on your hardest cases first, because that's where cheap tiers historically crack. If you live inside the Claude ecosystem already, Sonnet 5 is still a fantastic model, and switching costs are real. Different prompt behaviors, different caching semantics, different tool calling. Terra versus post-August Sonnet is honestly a coin flip on price. $250 versus $3 in, identical 15 out. And whatever you choose, the actual lesson is architectural. Put a routing layer in front of your models. When labs are knife-fighting over dollars, the winners are builders who can switch sides with a config change. A year ago, Frontier Intelligence cost $30 per million tokens. Today, two labs are knife-fighting at $1. You're the winner of this war if you stay flexible. The verdict: 3 moves. Same playbook as last week, but with a second player on the board. 1. Run your evaluation on both, this month. Sonnet 5's $2 window closes August 31st, and Luna is $1 with no window at all, so testing both costs you almost nothing right now. 2. Measure billable tokens, not list prices. Last week we saw Sonnet's tokenizer can inflate the same input up to 35%. No such inflation has been reported for GPT 5.6 so far, but self-published pricing always deserves a month of real invoices before you trust it. And 3. Whatever wins your eval, keep the loser one config line away. The best negotiating position in an AI price war is being visibly able to leave. The model's tied on intelligence. Your bill is where the game is actually decided, and for the first time in a while, both players know you have options. Use that leverage. Every serious team I know is quietly running 2 providers now, and the invoices show it works. Next episode, I stop talking about benchmarks and run the test myself. I'm going to make both of these models fill the same real legal contract. My product does this for a living, and we'll see real documents, real mistakes, and a real winner. Subscribe so you don't miss it.